Welcome to the Arclight Battery, your power source for all things Warcraft Rumble related. In today's video, we have the Arclight Rumblings podcast, episode 5. Excited for that. Max, I'm joined by you as always. How's it going?
Doing all right. How's it going, Minnie?
Oh, doing pretty well. Just hanging out, loving PvP, loving life. It's a good time.
Good, good. I am actually finishing off a PvP match as we speak, but don't
Ooh.
let that stop you.
Alrighty, I hope it's going well for you. This.
Well, I
Oh,
just got a lot. I just got heavily polyed and safed.
ooh,
But yep.
that's
Okay. Well,
okay.
it didn't matter. Managed to pull it off. Yeah.
Nice, good job. All right.
Okay.
We're doing things a little differently this week. We're kind of short on time, so we're only gonna have one part to the episode, and it's going to be on my channel. But still, go check out Blue Max's channel. I'll have his channel in the description. He's got some good PvP content over there that you guys will probably enjoy, so go ahead and check it out. But today's topic, Max, we have a new enchant.
Yes, we do.
Hero's Resolve. We no longer have collateral damage, so no more 20% health to your base when you kill a tower.
Mhm.
We have Hero's Resolve, which says leaders level up each time they are played. Pretty solid. It's really changing the meta. Well, I say it's changing the meta. It's changing the meta a little bit. So, what are your thoughts on it?
Well, I definitely agree with you that it's changing the meta. What I'm seeing and what I'm playing myself is people are playing lots of cycle decks, so that would be like Defias Bandits, Quillbore, Dark Iron Miner, Murlocs, Griffin, which honestly those were pretty meta anyway. Oh, and Ghoul. I think you're
Yes.
just seeing fewer 3 and 4 gold units because everyone is just trying to cycle out their leader as many times as they can. And I would say in the long game, that's making it to where polymorph and deep breath are just not as effective because your leaders are coming out of polymorph before you can even set deep breath.
Yeah, it's definitely changing a little bit of how that plays. It's like Polymorph almost feels like a necessity, maybe, to counter Gargoyle,
Hmm.
but it's really bad late game. So there's this weird thing going
Yes.
on where all these decks are trying to go cycle to play their leaders as much as they can, but at the same
Hmm.
time they have to respect Gargoyles, because if
Hmm.
you don't, you're not going to be able to cycle to play your leaders that many times. Um,
Yep.
my Emperor Thaurissan, which I don't think you can see it on screen, Max, but if you're watching the
Mhm.
video, you can see he's 7311 right now.
Holy
He
moly.
was like 5500 last night, and I pushed him up here without losing a game in roughly 45 minutes just by playing Gargoyle. Decks are not respecting Gargoyle right now. And
Hmm.
it kind of just seems like free wins if you run into opponents which aren't ready to counter Gargoyle. And there are a lot of decks that are not ready to counter Gargoyle. So, yeah, gotta respect the Gargoyle, but there are still some good cycle decks that are doing that, and we'll kind of showcase those in a little bit. So,
Yeah.
and by a little bit, let's just hop right into it. Um,
Right.
I want to show 5 of the decks that I've either been playing, have had good success on, or think would be good. So, let's go ahead and look at it. My first one that I want to talk about, let's just jump right into Emperor Thaurissan.
Okay.
It's the one I just talked about. We have him with his Hubris talent. Obviously, that is
Hmm.
going to be used to play a big Gargoyle. We have Griffin with airdrop to drop potions for the Gargoyle. We're just getting the biggest Gargoyle we can and ending it with one Gargoyle. That's kind of the name of the game with this deck. We're not trying to let our opponents cycle to more than a couple of their leaders. If they do, it's
Hmm.
probably out of hand for us. Then we've got Polymorph, which we use defensively sometimes, depending on what the matchup is. Really good against Dracosath. Really good against just Rend to dismount him if he's
Hmm.
going to attack our Gargoyle. We're running Blizzard with the Freeze in Place talent. Really good against Banshee. Really good at just protecting our Gargoyle from certain things. Right now, one of the
Okay.
big counters to Gargoyle is Murlocs with Deep Breath that removes armor.
Yeah.
because you can't deep breath Murlocs. They live because of safety bubble, so you have to commit something else to them too. And spending a 4 gold spell with a safe pilot, 7 gold for 2 gold, is not really a place you want to be. So that's been really good for most decks. However, Blizzard gets past that because the first tick will remove the bubble, and the next couple ticks will kill the Murlocs. So
Nice.
great against those. We've got Quillbore with Bramble Burst, though any of these talents are fine. Bristleback is good against Rivendare, and I really liked Bristleback earlier because of that. But now people are playing him less, I feel like, because of Bounty Hunt being fixed to where his skeletons now count. So Bramble Burst
Yeah.
is really good. It aggroes Kobold Miners because it hits them, so they'll start attacking back, which means you can disrupt some good gold veins that way.
Okay.
And then last but not least, we have just more support for our Gargoyle in the form of Safe Pilot. So this is kind of like the anti-meta deck for me, at least right now. It seems to do really well against people who are trying to cycle back to leaders. You just rush them down with a Gargoyle and don't ever let them play more than a couple leaders. So that is Emperor Thaurissan. Have you been playing any Emperor Thaurissan currently, Max?
Yeah, I have. I got him up to about 6,300 and then tilted back down to 59. I was using Harvest Golem, Murlocs, Griffin, probably Poly and Deep Breath, but that was kind of a holdover from the previous enchant. But it's still, it's still a pretty solid deck. But I think what you've got going is pretty nice. I will say the Murlocs at level 12 with Thaurissan in play. And stripping armor off of gargoyles does tear up those gargoyles pretty good. In fact, you and I had a match earlier today. I had a disconnect, and you very chivalrous. Wow, I can't courteously waited for me to get back in. I can't say chivalrous at the moment. And I was able to stop several of your gargoyles, but in the end, it wasn't enough.
Yeah, you did a really good job of dealing with them. I had to really make sure that my final gargoyle was one that I had the gold to protect and the levels on to actually get it to your base. So it was very solid. I also think that that version of the deck is pretty good. I've seen a lot of people playing Hubris into Ghoul or Harvest Golem. I think now that Bounty Hunt works on the chickens for Harvest Golem, I think Ghoul might be the better choice. However, I'm sure they're both still fine. Being able to cycle back to Emperors that play big ghouls is really powerful, especially giving the ghoul burn and increasing the level of your Thaurissan along the way.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Next, we have Hogger. Have you played any Hogger yet, Max?
Not a huge amount. I've got Hogger around 5,800.
Nice. Okay, so here we are running Hamhawk. Just give him 10% max health each time he is played, though that does cap out at 3. I've seen some players playing Spoiled Meat, specifically Arthy has been doing that. He seems to like it a lot. I think it's just kind of your preference. I don't actually know what this is good against. Maybe it, it does more damage to the base, for sure. It just makes him do more DPS overall, but I don't know that that's necessarily needed, but some people are playing it, so maybe it is. Once again, Quillbore with the Poison talent for the same reasons mentioned during Emperor Thaurissan. We've got Murlocs with Safety Bubble. We talked about that previously, how Safe Pilot doesn't one-shot them, neither does Deep Breath, so you have to commit multiple things to it. We've got Griffin Rider, but the range talent on this one, the range talent is better, unless you are just trying to pump levels into something, like Gargoyle in our previous build. It helps you trade with certain things. It definitely helps you trade into other Griffins as well. Safe Pilot, just claim treasure chests, things like that. On-demand support for Hogger, super good. Polymorph and Chain Lightning. This deck is really good. It helps you cycle back to Hogger quickly since we're running a bunch of 2-drops and a couple of 3-drops. And the cool thing about cycle decks like this is just because we have the 3-drops in our deck doesn't necessarily mean we have to play them. These are for specific things, like claiming treasure chests with Safe Pilot, maybe denying gold, or Polymorph being used specifically on big clumps of units, or Gargoyle. You don't always have to play them, so you could really just play your 2 gold things to cycle back to Hogger. So these are really situational. You don't play them all the time, but definitely good in a lot of cases. So is that something or kind of similar to what you've been playing, Max?
Pretty, very, very similar. Very similar. In fact, I can't think of anything different. I've probably pulled Safe Pilot out of too many of my decks since the nerf. I didn't do it immediately, but I have over time. Okay, well, I was mucking around a bit with Deep Breath as opposed to Chain Lightning. My Chain Lightning is 10,000 XP away from being level 10.
Ooh, that was pretty good.
Yeah, definitely looking forward to that.
I played a game, I think last night or the night before. No, it had to be last night. Where I chain lightning harpies instinctively in a match, and it didn't kill them, and I was like, "Hello," and they were level 10, and I just didn't see it. I was like, "That is crazy." Level 10 harpies, who would do that? I would do that. I wish I had level 10 harpies.
I have level 10 harpies.
Oh no, it must have been you I was playing against.
yeah. No.
Okay.
No, that's thanks to my my Onyxia run. I wasn't thinking PvP when I used that legendary core.
Ah, legendary core. Gotcha. My harpies are about 60k off from level 10 without a legendary core, so I'm still getting real close on a lot of things. Let's move on to Tiron.
Okay.
First off, we've got Tiron with Divine Shield, and then just a cycle deck. We're running Bandits to help us cycle, really good at defending, really good against Hogger up to a certain point. I didn't realize that stun duration scales with levels.
No, it
and
does.
the level like disadvantage. Yeah, I noticed that during last night or the night before. I would stun Hogger and it would last for like half a second, and I'd be like, "Huh, it's not normally how that works." So still not nearly as good as I thought they were, but for 1 gold, I really can't complain. They're great at stunning ghouls, stunning core hounds, and strangely, there are some core hounds being played with this. There are a lot of different things in the meta right now. It's kind of cool. Safe Pilot, all the same reasons. Ghoul, just a 2 gold, really tanky cycle unit that can really help our Tiron. Murlocs, to help defend against gargoyles, like we already talked about. We're not running Deep Breath, though. We have Safe Pilot, Murlocs, Griffin, and Polymorph in this deck, and it's such a cheap deck that you can cycle back to something if you really need it, as long as you're saving the gold to do so, of course. Griffin Rider with extra range, Polymorph with Golden Fleece, and this deck is really slow at first. Just playing a Tiron isn't really enough, but you're playing them to cycle them and get levels on them. And eventually you've got like a level 14 Tiron, and he lives forever because he's got so much health, and he like his healing scales, and he's got Divine Shield still. And then you can get a level 15 Tiron to meet with him, and then those guys eventually overtake whatever they were pushing, and then you have a level 16 Tiron, meet them from your side tower, and I've got screenshots of 4 Tyrons on top of each other. I think it was like a 13, 14, 15, and 16, and you're just like, nothing is killing that, and it's so cool.
I faced a Tiron. Actually, it was in our guild. I think he goes by Learbag, and Learbag had 4 Tyrons, including a level 18.
Ooh, yeah, you're not killing that.
No, not at all. Not at all. I mean, we fought down to the very wire, and I polymorphed and deep breath so many Tyrons, but eventually there's nothing else to do. Yeah, it was bad.
Yeah, and like you said earlier, eventually polymorph doesn't work. So, yeah, super fun deck. It's it's really weak to Dracasath. So Dracasath, I don't think is super good in the meta. However, if you find one, you're probably not winning. This matchup is rough for us just because Dracasath hits so hard. If Tiron doesn't get to 40% health when his bubble triggers, Before he gets one shot, like an execute or
Yep.
just a Dracasath swing kills him,
Yeah.
the bubble doesn't proc. So it's really bad for us.
Yeah.
However, that bug that has been fixed in like the last 2 patch notes where Dracasath can't kill Tiron now through his Divine Shield, that is not fixed. The literal first game I played of Dracasath versus Tiron, I had a Tiron crushing all of my Tyrons through bubble, which was weird because like the Dracasath would get my Tiron to, I guess, just above 40% health in one swing, and then the Shaman would hit him, proc it. So we've got Divine Shield rolling, and then Dracasath takes another swing, and he just dies. I don't know what causes it. It doesn't happen all the time. And I've also seen Dracasath swing one-shot a Murloc with a bubble on it still. I don't know what's causing it. And like I said, it doesn't happen all the time, but when it does happen, it's really annoying. So hopefully it gets fixed soon. We'll just have to see. But,
yeah.
Okay, let's go
Yikes.
on to Charlga. This is a deck I did not really have on my radar for Heroes Resolve. However, it is really good. Legendary. Mopped the floor with me with this on day one. I was playing Tiron, he was playing Charlga. I could just never get a Tiron into range of Charlga ever.
Yeah.
He was just super fast cycling with this. I don't have the talent for this. You run either the 2 additional root targets, but half damage, or the 1 gold cost. I think the 1 gold cost is probably better. And it's really cool because she's really good against Hogger. The deck is so cheap, you don't have to run these 3 drops. I think it's probably better, but maybe you can swap out Safe Pilot for something, or potentially Prowler for like another 2 gold or 1 gold cost. But this is how I think I would play it, and you just cycle so fast back to her that even if you're playing a Hogger, you can generally root every Hogger that they throw at you, and then eventually they die, and then your Charlga just keeps on trucking. It's fantastic. Like I said, either the 2 additional targets, though generally I think you just want the 1 gold cost Charlga, which is a talent I do not have currently.
Okay.
Golden Fleece on Polymorph to help deal with gargoyles and big clumps of annoying enemies. Prowler to apply fast pressure and claim treasure chests. Quillbore, you can run Bristleback. Probably Bramble Burst, though, with less Barons in the meta. Griffin Rider with range, Murlocs with safety bubble, and the Safe Pilot with Gnomish Cloaking Device. Max, have you played any Charlga recently?
Not in this enchant, but I must have also copied Legendary's deck because that's exactly what I have.
Nice.
Yeah. Now my Charlga is still level 8, and so she's 1 to 2 levels at a disadvantage, and so I don't know if I'm going to be able to play that too terribly well. And looks like I've got about 25,072 XP left to get her to level 9.
Nice.
Not going to be pushing that anytime soon.
Yeah, definitely not a priority. But if you have Charlga leveled up, she's very good in this meta, I think.
Yep.
Kind of weak to Rend, but I haven't seen him a lot. However, he is there in some places, and I think we might as well go ahead and hop over to Rend, because that was our next leader anyway.
All right.
This Rend list looks a little different than most. A lot of them are running gargoyles. However, I think with the Heroes Resolve, you probably don't need Gargoyle. You probably just want to cycle back and make your Rends as big as possible. He scales really well because he kind of double dips, in a sense, with this enchant, because you not only get the buff levels while he's on his dragon, you get the buff levels when he hops down. Just super solid all around. We're running the Scale and Steel talent because, resist and armored is really good. Bramble Burst, I believe. The poison one on Quillbore. Golden Fleece, gotta respect Gargoyle. Big clumps of enemies. If you don't, you're probably gonna lose. Though Rend is good against Gargoyle in general. Griffin Rider with +3 range. I'm running Whelp Eggs, which are not crazy in the Bounty Hunt meta. However, I still think they're good enough, and it's something to take advantage of Rend's passive, even though that's the only thing in the deck that does. Murlocs with
Nice.
safety bubble for the same reason we mentioned before. They're also really good at taking
Mhm.
chests as well. And then safe pilot to kind of support that. Have you played any Rend, Max?
Not in this enchant. My Rend is parked at 6,500, but I got Rend. I got Rend there maybe Friday, so the day before the enchant. So I was using Gargoyle, and yeah, that's the only unit in my Rend deck that takes advantage of the passive. It was Prowler, Murloc, Dark Iron Miner, Deep Breath, and Safe.
Yeah.
I will probably not play Rend until after I pass 20k. I mean, assuming I do.
You'll get there. How close are you? You're like 1,000 away, right?
I was at 19.3. I've tilted back down to 19.1. So I've just got 850-ish points to go. We're getting there.
Not bad. Anytime
I
now.
pushed.
Very close.
Hopefully by the weekend. I had a really good push of Tiron this morning. What you obviously using the enchant, and so yeah, I can taste it. I can taste that legendary core.
Good. Awesome. Well, I think those are the 5 lists I wanted to look at. Is there anything else you wanted to talk about, Max?
Let's see. Well, I'm actually surprised. Well, I want to talk just in general about two leaders that we haven't discussed. The first one will be Grom.
Okay.
There was a lot of chatter internally within the Diablo Gaming Guild that Grom was going to be super powerful. I've barely seen anyone play him.
Same.
And I've played quite a bit for the past 2 days.
Yep, I think that I've maybe seen 1 or 2. Something that I think Arthi brought up to us is that, like, we've been playing Mirror Images. With Savage Strikes, he wins the trade against Hogger, which is really solid, especially since Hogger is so good in this meta.
Yes.
So I think he's very good, and I just don't think people are playing him quite yet. I think I'm going to start playing him a little bit. I've been kind of going back and forth on different leaders, trying different things, but I just haven't gotten to Grommash yet. I might play him during stream in just a little bit.
Yeah, that wouldn't be a bad idea. I'm 48,000 away from getting Grom to 10.
Ooh.
And so yeah, Grom, go ahead.
I was just gonna say I'm still like 84,000 ish away, so not anytime soon, but at some point.
Sure. So the other one we should bring up as an honorable mention. You indicated to me that you're not having any difficulty with Thalnos.
Yeah.
But both Gulak as well as Sky have pushed their Thalnos to past 7k. In fact, Gulak pushed Thalnos from I think 1,500 to 7k in less than 24 hours.
That is
so.
That is wild to me. I don't.
Yeah.
So I made a tier list, published it Monday morning, saying that Thalnos was C tier. I had the first 2 people on the video commented saying, "Hey, Thalnos is way better than C tier," and so I kind of saw the comments, and I think I waited a little bit and was looking through Discord, and I saw people in our guild posting about Thalnos. And I was like, "There's no way." So I went back and made a comment and was like, "Okay, Thalnos might be better than I said originally." So I mean, I can see him being good. I just don't understand how. So my issue with it is that the first couple of Thalnoses should not live. I don't think anyone is playing Cheat Death in their build. I think it gets easily polymorph Deep Breath or polysafe piloted. I just think the first couple of Thalnoses die too easy. And then what do you have left? You've got Arcane Blasts, Holy Nova, and like Smoke Bomb, Chain Lightning to help you defend what your opponent is doing. I just feel like if your opponent isn't winning the game in the amount of time that it takes you to cycle back to another Thalnos and get it to be a threat, I feel like something is potentially wrong there. And I don't necessarily know that is a fact.
Mhm.
But that's just how it feels in my mind. Like I said, haven't played Thanos yet. Maybe I'm completely wrong. Maybe he's just the best thing since sliced bread. But I have not lost to a Thanos yet, and I have played a number, not like a lot, but I have played a number of them.
I was winning against Thalnos. I was playing against I forget the name of the player, but they were from Cartel, and
Mhm.
I won the first several matches. But they were all on much more open maps like Alterac Valley, stuff like that. But then when I started playing that same person in closed maps, like
Mhm.
Hillspread and Arathi, I found I found that I just couldn't reach Thalnos, and yes, you could deep breath and poly the first few, but my I was playing primarily Tyrion and Emperor Thaurissan, so they don't have speed. It's a
Yeah.
slow build up, and so I think that was a problem. And the other thing is, well, obviously I've got to find some excuse for why I'm tilting so bad. I just don't like the fact that there's no draft or selection system, and so I feel like if I knew I was up against a Thalnos, I would build my deck a certain way,
Mhm.
but I don't. And but everyone's in the same boat. It's not like my situation is unique. But the bottom line is, I just feel like the way I'm building my decks seems to put me at a disadvantage to Thalnos. Can't get past those ghouls, and they just wreck.
Yeah.
They just absolutely wreck. So
Yeah.
that's my
Ghouls
story.
ghouls are pretty tanky. I could see it being good. But
Yeah.
haven't played with it myself yet.
Hmm.
Maybe we'll play with it and we'll be like, oh my god, this is just the best thing. So maybe we'll try that tonight. Probably play
Yeah.
that in Gramash on stream. But yeah. Um Super close to 20k max, that's awesome. Um like you said, probably get there this weekend. I'm excited for you. It's gonna be a good
Hopefully,
day.
it will be.
So I think that is everything. If you have any
Yep.
questions about the builds that you saw in today's video, please ask questions about them in the comments. We greatly appreciate you being here and supporting our podcast. It means the world to
Yep.
us. And until next time, bye, guys.
Bye.